Belvedere of literary profundity. As if going through all these books wasn't already hard enough, now I need to learn martial arts on top of that. A report on the holistic approach of the martial arts source handed down to the Murim organization. Wow, what a long title. Looks like a report written in the Imperial Palace. This book looks like it's brand new, following the supreme and overflowing grace of His Majesty, the Emperor, who by the will of the heavens, sat down on the dragon throne. I, a scholar of the House of the White Tiger, was entrusted with the duty of House of the White Tiger, a scholar of the House of the White Tiger, this so-called House of the White Tiger. Where? No, since when did it exist? But more importantly, there seems to have been another person in the past interested in the same things as the Crown Prince, the author of this book. He must be something like my senior. I wonder if there is going to be anything helpful here. 1 year later, we will start with the first 12 forms of the white striking technique. Sector Leader Du Jin, Sector Leader Ail Chung Hyan. That sounds more like a child screaming. Doesn't he have a pretty good stance, Leader Du? It's fine. No, it's actually a really good stance. His foot positioning is precise and his movement is neat without any unnecessary motions. His breathing management seems stable and he is looking in the proper direction. He doesn't seem to have picked up any bad habits either, judging by the smooth transition from one movement to the other. He seems to have correctly understood the purpose of each form, all things considered. You could say that he is pretty good, even better than expected. You've got a point there. Scholar Woon has indeed fully understood the essence behind every single motion in each form. That is the reason for his good stance. Just as expected from Sector Leader Il. To think that he could train a mere scholar to this level in only 1 year. But, why did it have to be such a slow form? That is because he has not fully mastered the motions yet. No wonder I could not feel any kind of vigor in his movements. What a shame. If only he had enough experience, he might have been an ideal candidate to teach, though I guess he does not even meet the physical requirements in the first place. If he had the necessary physique and expertise, he probably would have become an officer in the military, not a scholar. Don't you think, by the way, Scholar Woon's strong point isn't even his good stance? Scholar Woon, go on and finish the final 12 forms of the white striking technique and do some sword training with Sector Leader Du. Since Leader Du is especially skilled with the sword, I am sure he will be of great help to you. Yes, has he not learned any sword skills yet? He learned the basic forms not too long ago, so you won't have to teach him any stances. But instead, you will just have to answer some of his questions that come up every now and then. Questions, well, then, I leave him in your care, Leader Du, don't worry. Goodbye. He has been teaching martial arts to a mere scholar here. If he had acted a little smarter, he could have become a high-ranking officer with ease. To think that an upright heart would hold someone back from a successful career, but a scholar is still just a scholar, and in the end, a scholar's martial arts are just, thank you for your efforts, Sector Leader Du, good job, Scholar Woon. I'll be heading back now. A training session as hard as this is new even to me. Looks like I am a bit late, Sector Leader Il. Did Scholar Woon leave? Yes, he left not too long ago. How did the training go? I am sure you were a bit flustered by Scholar Woon's questions. Yes, I have never ever encountered a student like that, I'm sure of it. Out of the blue, he asked me questions like what is a sword, and showed interest in every tiny detail. And when I answered, he took notes of everything I said. Since a picture is worth 1,000 words, I showed him the basic forms myself, but then he asked even more questions. In fact, I was the one who used the sword the most today, not Scholar Woon. I'm pretty sure I showed him every single form I have learned until now. Looks like Scholar Woon was very persistent again when asking his questions, but it was still fun, right? Fun, come to think of it. It's been a while since I lost track of the time while using my sword. I wonder if it's thanks to Scholar Woon that even the cold-hearted Sector Leader Ail Chung Hyan softened up a bit. But I will pass on a second time. Let's see, Leader Du's sword technique from today is probably yes, found it. It was definitely some gorgeous and powerful swordsmanship, but that's not it, it's completely different. Could this form be from a different location? The form that Sector Leader Il showed me was at least somewhat similar. I wonder whose technique is wrong, but still, they are sector leaders of the Golden Army. I doubt that 2 sector leaders got their techniques wrong. Then does that mean that this report is faulty? The essential core of martial arts was systematically and holistically reported from the scholar's perspective, is what it says. But how is one supposed to believe that? A book that he wrote after researching all his life. I have no other choice than to confirm it with my own eyes. The weight and feeling are incomparable to a real sword. This way I might get the form wrong. If only I could use a practice sword. But if I, a scholar, were to walk around with a sword, I would probably be in big trouble. I think I made a mistake during the middle form. Probably because this is only a stick and not a real sword. Swordsmanship should be continuous and smooth, but the beginning and the end should always be consistent. He obsessively wrote down the requirements in incredible detail. Maybe Sector Leader IL will be able to understand the essence of this report. No, I may be a scholar, but right now, I am someone learning from Sector Leader IL. He might get offended if I were to show up with this book and ask him to teach me its content. According to this report, if one fully masters these 12 boring forms, one will be able to see that the whole world is full of ki. This sounds in line with what Sector Leader IL told me about all masters are masters of inner strength. How was this? Sector Leader IL, how in the world did you, those born with outstanding power in their legs will, with only little training, be able to jump as high as I just did with ease? However, no matter how strong your arms may be, a sword swung mid-air will never be able to leave a mark like this on the ground. Although compared to true masters of martial arts, this is nothing more than just child's play. Are you saying this is possible with only breathing management training? Well, breathing management is only the first of the many steps in the mastery of inner strength. You know, breathing can be seen as a form of taking in natural ki into your body and releasing it back. It is like being a part of the universe's cycle and becoming one with nature. Ki is a form of energy that fills the whole world. It is the origin of the universe and the power of existence itself. Now then, shall we proceed with the stance training? Wait a minute, please repeat what you just said. I wasn't able to write everything down. It's been only 6 months since I started training the forms from the report. They say that even a skilled officer needs to repeat a form at least 10,000 times to barely get the hang of the proper movement, and 100,000 times to vaguely understand the essence of it. Then how much longer would it take for a scholar? Probably a lifetime. I still have a long way to go. Let's just focus on training again. For years later, Scholar Wound seems to be getting the hang of it now, even though he still sounds the same. Well, a scholar remains a scholar. Lately, the topic of his questions has changed as well. Before, IT used to be all about martial arts, but recently, IT has been more about some secret records that he read at the Belvedere of Literary Profundity. Secret records? Probably for his own report that he has to write. Scholar Wound sure is lasting a long time with both martial arts and his report. You seem to be enjoying yourself, Sector Leader IL. Well, isn't IT the same for you? Sector Leader Do, you even helped out with the training and came by every now and then. I guess I can't deny it now. I have a matter to attend to, so I will take my leave, Sector Leader IL. Take care, Sector Leader Do. What was that? Felt like a completely new presence. Tio exerts such a presence in the Forbidden City. I don't know who this is, but he must be out of his mind. Could it be a Cry of the Sword, Scholar Woon? Yes. Could it be that you are separately studying a different sword technique? Oh no, busted.